Alright, it's Eldon again here at Crazy Dad Garage, ready to introduce to you the next one in our series of project vehicles. And this one's going to be a little bit different from anything that we've ever done before, because unlike some of the things that I've been teaching you about buying a complete car that's together and functional, we're going to actually talk about doing a real low buck restoration here on a car that I picked up as a basket case. It had been torn apart. I believe it's complete, but it's a very unique car, and I'm going to do it whether I make a video about it or not, so I'm just going to make a video of it and put it on there. I'm going to show you how to do a relatively inexpensive restoration on a car that came in pieces and is worth doing a restoration on because it's kind of a relatively rare car, and it's really unique. And it's going to be a lot of fun just as a driver's car goes. And that's this one that I picked up recently. So last year one of my neighbors had his garage door open, and I happened to notice this body of a really cool old car in there, and I went over and asked him about it, and he showed it to me and was talking about how he and his son had planned and started to restore it. So they'd torn it apart and started doing some really nice work on it. And then they got in an automobile accident several years ago, and his son was really severely injured, and it just got to the point where they couldn't do anything with it. And so after sitting in the garage for many years, he finally decided it was time to let it go. And he actually told me, he says, "Hey, I've been trying to sell it, haven't gotten any good takers on it." He says, "Right now, I just give it to somebody if they take it and do something with it." And I was like, "Me?" Because I love old cars, and this car in particular is a very cool. It's a great handling European sports car, and what I loved about it was extremely complete. It just had been torn apart, and he had all the parts for it that were there. You know, obviously we'll have to buy a few new things to put on it, but most of it's there. And when I went back to pick it up this spring, I said, "Oh, hey, how many miles does this thing have on it?" And he said 27,000. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is like the score of a lifetime for me. And so we're gonna roll it out here, and I'll turn you around and show you what we got to offer you here. Well, here it is, sitting outside of our storage unit right now. I've just got all the pieces back together, and we're getting ready to stuff it in the storage unit for a month or so until I get one of these other projects completely out of the way. But what we've got here that we just picked up, the 1972 Lotus Europa Twin Cam. And not everybody knows what these things are. Most of us today have heard of a Lotus. Lotus is a company that's been around since the early 50s, maybe even the late 40s. And they've built some really famous racing cars, and in today's day and age, there's a lot of familiar Lotus names, Lotus Elise and Elite and different things like that. Well, this one was one of Colin Chapman's early experiments. All of his cars were designed around the philosophy of ultra lightweight with a small power plant. And because of the lightweight, they were extremely fast and handled like a go-kart. These things are amazing. And this one is called a Lotus Europa Twin Cam, and it's got a fiberglass body, and we do have all the parts for it sitting in the other in the storage unit here. But it's built on this very unique chassis, which you can't see real good here. But this chassis is actually made out of sheet metal that's all been folded into shapes and then welded together, and I can actually pick it up and carry it around by myself. It's that lightweight. So the whole car only weighs about 1,500 pounds when it's complete. And when you put that in there with a, I don't know, 150, 180 horsepower motor, the things just really are fun to drive. It was actually the first, I think, mid-engine car sold in America. Now, there might have been some of the higher-end exotics like a Lamborghini or Ferrari. I'm not totally sure of that, but this one, yeah, you're looking at the engine compartment here right behind the cab, and it's got a little 4-cylinder motor and a transaxle in it, and bolts in. As I've picked up all the parts to this, I've just been amazed at how they're built ultra lightweight. Everything on it is lightweight to the point of seeming fragile. But I'm stoked about this car, and it's complete, like I said, with that low mileage on it. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's not hardly worn, but we're going to walk you through how to go about restoring this thing back to a drivable status so that it's fun. We're not going to do anything close to a show car restoration on it. My goal with this is to get it drivable and back on the road so it's mechanically sound and we can go out and enjoy the thing. And like our other cars, we'll put an inexpensive paint job on it, so when it's done, it's going to look really cool. And according to what my friend Dan, who gave it to me, told me, it's going to be an absolute blast to drive. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll take it from there. Again, this is something different from our normal crazy dad genre, and I probably wouldn't even do this on this channel except that I have it. And I thought, well, why not go about showing how to do a low buck restoration on something. So this is it. We've got boxes full of parts, and lots of them have already been repaired and are ready for repainting and things, but lots of it hasn't been. So there we go. This is going to be the Crazy Dad Lotus.